really glad we got you on
Oh,
tonight.
this morning.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, night here, but yeah.
No, it's an honor. I mean, what can I say? I'm just surprised that I'm all the way out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just Pearly Things
I-
is pretty big in America, I feel.
Yeah, Just Pearly Things is pretty big in America, I feel like. Yeah, it's a pretty good podcast.
Yes, I just jumped in her back, so to speak.
You said, say again?
So I've just
Say
jumped
again?
on the back of her. But no, how about
No. You're
Oh, no. You're good individually, too. You
Oh.
bring a lot to the table.
thanks for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, my favorite one is the one with Angie Tate.
Yeah, my favorite one is the one with Andrew Tate.
I think that was
with
the
you.
one that pushed me out there.
Yeah.
Because all the
I've seen some reels.
all the I knew,
Yeah, like, I've seen some reels from what
all the
you
young
said off
people
that.
I knew, they were
And,
like,
like,
oh my gosh,
just
the
watch
young,
the whole
especially
thing.
young boys in their early 30s and 20s, they were like, Auntie, Andrew Tate, come on, Just, I was like, so I've been saying the same thing all these years, so it makes sense now because Andrew Tate's saying it. He even said to my son, I saw a woman that looks like your mum, but now she's with Andrew Tate. He said, yeah, that's my mum. Andrew Tate? I didn't know who Andrew Tate was. I think had done.
You did until the
Never
podcast?
Dang. Oh, that's...
I think
Dang.
Pearl got me to
Oh,
do a reaction on him, and he was just another reaction from another bloke. I didn't know who he was. So everybody was
Andrew Tate?
So how long have you known about Andrew Tate?
the day I met him on the podcast,
Oh, really? That's cool.
Oh, really?
and everybody seems to think that, oh yeah, she knows him. They got on really well. She knows him. We just had a conversation, and we agreed with what each other was saying. So
That's sweet.
yeah, that was it. Really, that was my meeting with the famous Andrew Tate. So no, people can stop phoning me and asking me what prison is he in, asking me if Harry's in hospital, asking me when's the last time I've spoken to him, because the first time I met him was that day, and I haven't met him or spoken to him since. Because people seem to think that me and Andrew Tate like this. Wait till he comes out and asks me that.
Yeah.
Like behind the camera was Andrew Tate
Like behind the camera was Andrew Tate, like still kind of like that.
No, he's a
high
perfect
energy
gentleman.
guy?
To me, he was a perfect gentleman. I mean, like I said to him, my son's older than him, and he treated me as if I was his mother or his auntie.
Yeah, he's a
Dang.
really nice guy.
Yeah. He
And
seems
so
like a
we
really
got
nice
on.
guy.
I mean, I just think that with regards to him, I've seen some clips, and if I'd seen the clips before I met him, maybe I might have had an attitude before I met him, but I'd only seen one clip, and I'm not a clip believer. I'd rather see the whole thing. So, yeah, he was just like a regular, normal gentleman talking to, really. I mean, some of the things I didn't agree with, but some of the things I think he says it in such a way that he causes, that when he says, oh, men can cheat and all this and that, I honestly think that he's just pulling people's legs, because according to Western society, if you're Muslim and you've got more than one husband, that might be technically classed as cheating. So I think he's just trying to wind people up. Because if you see a man with 4 wives, you might think, as a non-Muslim, oh, that's cheating. So that's what I think he's going with that.
Right.
I don't think, because if you listen to what he says, he wants men to be men and women to be women and to get married and live happily ever after.
Yeah.
So I think that's where his cheating comes in. It's just double entendre that he's just thrown in there just to wind people up.
Yeah, I think some of what Andrew says.
Yeah, I think some of what Andrew says can kind of be like somewhat of a persona trying to wind people up a little bit. But a lot of what he says is like true life advice.
Yeah, I think that don't listen to how he says it, listen to what he says.
Exactly, because how he says it is like what gets
Exactly, because how he says it is like what gets the people winded up and all that, trying to get a reaction.
Yeah.
So do you have like any advice for young men?
So do you have like any advice for young men that could be listening about
Atmosphere?
dating in
Yeah,
like the
don't
current
date.
atmosphere?
Don't date. Don't date. Don't date anyone from the cities. Go out into the country to find yourself a good woman before it spreads out.
Yeah, you know,
Spreads
we
out,
live in
yeah.
Montana.
Yeah, like we live in Montana. Like we live in like
We live in Montana. Like we live in like pretty small towns. Like Missoula's kind of big, but I live in like a town
There's
that's
more
like
virgins
5,000
there.
people. But
The women tend to have a low body count. If not, you know who they've been sleeping with. If the smaller it is, you know. In a bigger city, he's looking at his face.
yeah,
I can
that's
tell by
true.
your face. You're like, yeah, I know I know a few girls. Yeah. I can tell by your face.
Oh,
That's the thing. In a city, you
Andrew.
can't tell because it's so big. So when I say go out into the country, I mean I've moved out of London, further out, and I'm meeting people that are married under the age of 25.
I was like my sisters. They were both married.
Yeah, it was like my sisters. They were both married before 25, and they keep telling me like, "Oh, you need to get a wife, have kids." And I'm just like, "Oh."
Someone's in love with your black cat. They love the fact that you got a black cat. Why is he looking? Oh, you're both
That's
for
his cat.
the same. Oh, right. I thought, why are you looking? I can see the cat behind him. Right.
Yeah, we came here today.
Yeah, we came here today. We didn't know we were going to do a live tonight. Like, actually, we had another guest that was supposed to be on, and I texted him before, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't make it." So, you know, honestly, that was a blessing in
I'm
disguise.
a second choice, am I? No, not really.
No way.
No,
I know that you said to me like when, and I asked you when you were available, and you said, "Oh, well, we got this time," and I thought, "Well, I'm here now before I go to London," because let me explain to everybody. I'm not a social media person. I'm how can I say? I'm going into this. I'm not a podcast person. I'm not a social media person. I don't like doing it. I'm a introvert.
Yeah. Have you ever posted on
Pardon?
TikTok?
Have you ever posted on TikTok?
Yeah,
Ever posted
I do food on TikTok and bargains and that, but I don't post anywhere. I just give social media gets 2 days. They get Mondays and they get Saturdays. And everybody knows if I'm going to do a podcast with anybody, I work it around those 2 days. Because life's short for me to spend more than 2 days with social media. Because I got a life, not much, but I like my peace and quiet. I like my own company. I like that when I shut my door, it's gone. So that's the reason why I said, I'll do it for you this morning, because I'll do it this morning, then I'll go on my way. Then I've got a couple of stops on the way to London, and then I'll do my podcast. And sometimes I go and visit my mum in the hospital during that time, do the podcast, and I come home. Door shut, internet's finished.
Thanks.
And that's how I like it.
I feel like it's a pretty good way to. I feel like that's a pretty good way to live life, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing one on Monday. Do you know what, right? Somebody always says to me, "Oh, you shouldn't smoke when you're on the internet. It's bad."
Smoking cigs?
And you know what? I don't really give a shit right now. Cigarettes. And they all come with warnings. So I know what the warnings are before anybody says them. I know what they are. Right. I know what it can cause. In England, they get really graphic. They put pictures on them as well. Of people's lungs, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen like ones in Colombia.
I've seen like ones in Colombia, and they have like pictures of like rotten teeth and like children coughing.
Yeah. I live on my own. I'm old. I'm nearer to the grave than anybody else on this podcast. So let me smoke. Let me enjoy my last few years.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been finding hard and dating hard where you are. What are you looking for anyway? Everybody wants to date, but nobody knows what they want in a woman. They have an airy-fairy idea of what they want. But I realize the young people don't know what they want. They're going along with what society says they should have. So what is it you actually want?
You know, I want a woman that has
You know, I
traditional
want a
values.
woman that has traditional
And I
values,
don't want her to be going out to the bars.
and I don't want her to be going out to the bars and
You know,
the
if we
club
go
all the
out,
time.
it's like me and
You know, if we
her
do
and
go
my
out,
friends.
it's like me and her and our friends.
When you say traditional values, what do you class as traditional values in a woman?
Raises the kids.
Raises the kids.
You know, teaches the kids things while they're growing
You know,
up.
teaches the kids things while they're growing
I
up.
think like household chores.
I think like household chores
divided.
should be like
And, you know,
equally
if, like,
divided.
My wife isn't working,
But you know, if like
then,
my
I'm
wife
supporting
isn't
her,
working
then
and like I'm
I
supporting
definitely
her,
expect to pick up
then
a little bit more.
I definitely expect her to pick up a little bit more.
Are you going to drop a little bit more?
What?
Are you going to drop a little bit
What?
less? And she's got to pick up a little bit more.
No,
Because-
no. I look after myself.
Oh no,
Right.
no. I pick up.
So there's no reason
myself.
for her to clean then if everybody does their own thing. You see, the reason why I'm asking, because I find that people are like, oh, I want a traditional wife, and I say to the women, what makes you, I can cook and I can clean. And then I hear the men saying the same thing, and that's a load of rubbish. Because you can you cook? If you shouldn't, shame on you. Can you both cook?
Nah.
Right.
Cereal.
Let me give you a bit of
Cereal.
what Pearl calls game. Right. Before you decide that you want to date with the purpose of looking for a wife, make sure there's nothing that she can do for you that you can't do for yourself.
Damn.
That's smart.
Don't even
That's
think
smart.
about looking for a woman until you can do for yourself. You should be able to cook. You should be able to, if you live on your own, you should be able to clean anyway. You should. There's nothing you should be able to, that a woman should be able to do for you that you can't do for yourself. A woman's supposed to enhance you. So when you're looking for a traditional woman, nobody says, I want a woman to enhance me. They want a woman that's going to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. And I think to myself, all the things that you're listing, you should be able to do yourself. All the things that you're listing, you should be able to do yourself. Talk to the children, raise the children, communicate with them, educate them. There's something that a couple does anyway.
That is very
And
true.
and that's why I asked you, do you pick up after yourself? Because why do you want a woman to pick up? You know, I had someone that says, oh, the children make a mess in the kitchen. Why? Why haven't you taught them how to clean up after themselves?
That's a good point. Johnny. Something to think
It's a good
about.
point. Yeah,
I have my
something to
3
think about.
grandchildren, and when my mum was here, my grandchildren now, think about a year later, a year less, they're now 6, 4, 6, 5, and 3. When they were 5, 4, and 2, when they came to my house, and it's on TikTok, I didn't do any cooking. I hardly tidied up. They cooked for the whole family. And my son's been cooking since he was 3 years old, and there's no woman that can outcook my son. He definitely don't need a woman to cook and clean.
What was he cooking in at that age?
What was he cooking in at that age?
He started off doing egg sandwiches because they were his favourites. Fried egg sandwiches, and then moved on to, from there, pies, pastries, stir fries. He's the king of the stir fry right now. But yeah, but he should be able to cook a meal. A man should be able to cook a meal. A woman should come in there and think, shit, but there's nothing for me to do. If there's nothing for you to do, then you concentrate on the man.
That's smart.
That's smart. Yeah.
So that's why I say stop looking. All the men that are ready to say that I'm ready to date, stop looking, look in the mirror. Ask yourself, really, stop using all these words, because I hate buzzwords. I had to show them buzzwords. I hate, oh, traditional woman. A woman is a woman is a woman. She's either a good woman or she's a bad woman. Simple. So when they say about modern and traditional, you're either a good woman or you're a bad woman. No, not because you can get a modern woman that's like, I've seen modern women my age. I've got a sister, she's older than me, and she's a modern woman in it. To me, it's embarrassing. So, and people look, but yeah, she's this, she's that, she's traditional. No, she's not. You can get tradition. You can get women that are married that are bad women. So you want a good woman to enhance you. You want a woman that you can build with. You want a woman that's going to have your back.
So what in ways does she enhance you?
So what in ways does she enhance you?
If you have a woman with you, she's got to look the part. So if you put it this way, if you've got a woman, everybody should know that's your woman. Everybody should be proud. I'm really religious, and for all you non-religious people out there, Google it. Proverbs, I think it's Proverbs 31 in the Bible. That should be your standard for a woman. I got up this morning.
That
Yeah,
verse sounds familiar.
Do I know it? I can tell you what it means off the top of my head. It's a woman that gets up early in the morning before everybody else rises. She gets prepared. She sorts out her household before everybody wakes up. You know, she's careful with money. You know, she makes sure that everybody's well dressed. Didn't say in the latest clothes that's going to waste your money. Make sure that everybody's well dressed. She might have a side hustle, because a lot of people, traditional women don't have a side hustle. It's in the Bible. Yes, they do. She has a side hustle. Whether it's going to the market, getting up early and growing her own vegetables, whatever, it's a side hustle. And wherever she goes, people know who she is. Like, that's so-and-so's wife. You know, and that's what I always say about when a woman steps out the house, she represents you. So whatever she does represents you. So her husband be proud of her. Your friends should be jealous of you, of the way you get treated. You know, that's what you need. You don't need what society's telling you. And that's why I always say I'm not red pill. I just go against the grain. I'm just me. But that's what I mean by enhances you. Anything that enhances you makes you better. So if she doesn't make you better, a better person, doesn't make your life better, doesn't make the way you look better, doesn't make the way you eat better, doesn't make, you know, your friends think, wow, he's lucky. Think, oh my God, here he comes bringing out that miserable old bag again. What does he always bring her out? You know?
Yeah.
You want someone that if your friends are there, your friends are not going to feel, they might watch their language, but they're not going to feel uncomfortable to be themselves when your wife's there. And neither are you. You're not going to think, oh, I have to put on a different persona because she's here. You're yourself. She understands that. She respects that.
That's a good trait to have in a woman.
That's a good trait to have in a woman, feeling like everyone can be themselves around her.
Except you'll find that when men are around a real woman, you can always tell whether she's married or not. Because if they swear, they will apologize. Or they will apologize before they swear. If they don't, they just don't rate the woman. She's just one of the lads. She's just not a good woman.
She's not a good woman if what?
She's not a good woman if what?
Speak freely and they can cuss and swear when she's around.
Yeah.
Because you don't curse around a good woman. You won't curse around your granny, your auntie, your mum.
Right.
Why would you? If it's your woman, if people respected her and she was a good woman, they wouldn't do it.
That's very good.
So forget about cleaning, cooking, and everything like that. You should be able to do all that on your own. Because most women can't cook. So before you start looking for a woman, I would say work on yourself. And stop having sex.
Yeah.
I know I heard about all these male urges. You know, men have to. But that just makes you weak as a man. You're supposed to be
safe for marriage.
Do you think it should be safe for marriage?
No, you could. I think everybody should save themselves from marriage. If you don't, be bloody picky. Be picky. Don't go with a woman that. I always say, like, people are missing out there because there's a load of what society classes unattractive people that are the best ever. Because they don't fit how society thinks they should look, but underneath they're great people.
Yeah.
And you will find that, you know, like the ugly duckling, they would always get better looking. But 9 times out of 10, the good looking women, the older they get, the uglier they get, and the more plastic surgery they need. Same way how you need a woman to help you grow, you need someone that's going to grow as well. That's going to grow in their demeanor, that's going to grow in their behavior, that's going to grow in their hotness, that's going to grow in their sexiness. That can be improved. Without you telling her she can be improved, this naturally it would just happen. Once she enhances you, it will just happen.
So when do you think men are at their
peak value, and when do you think women are at their peak value?
I'll say that women are at their peak, say like between 20 and 25. And I think the problem,
What do you think about
years on
men, though?
because they say that women mature quickly. Yeah, women mature more earlier and men develop later. So that's why you got the gap.
Yes. So how big of an age gap do you think?
Yes. So how big of an age gap do you think is like acceptable between men and women?
I think that I've done 15 years, I think. I don't think it really matters. Once the woman's younger, she can breed. Really.
Yeah.
So I really don't think it's matter. Once you think about the woman that you think you can have children, if you want a gap, you can have children with a gap. These are things you need to be thinking about as men. You need to be thinking, how many kids do I really want to have? How do I want to have them? What's the gap? And if you put the gap in an age, you know exactly where you are. Because you look at a woman that she's 25 or she's 30, and you think to yourself, yeah, I'm going to get with her. She's 30, be with her a couple of years, you know, maybe a year, get engaged, a year, get married, have children. You know, you've got to think about the age she's going to be. Do you want a gap? Then you've got to think about how old they'll be when they're at school, at college, how old you're going to be. Do you want to do that? I mean, I had my son young. It wasn't intentional. I was on contraception. I had my son young. And if I'd done things differently, I would have been married, but still had my son young. Because now I'm 55 and I'm free. I was free agent. I grew up with a load of single parents. And they just kept on having children. And I know boys my son's age or young men my son's age that had younger siblings, and the parents, single parents, always wanted the boys to babysit, always wanted the older kids to babysit, and that's wrong. They're your children, you look after them. So I just think that, no, you need to get out there. Stop looking. Stop looking. Work on yourself. You see, if men work on themselves, right, the women will always come looking for you. They'll hunt you down. And the ones that are going to hunt you down, you don't want them anyway. But they will hunt you down, and you will know. So when you know that you're ready, when you get lots of women, like when you know that you're ready, when like you've reached your peak, when you get lots of women coming at you.
True.
And that's right, because women attract, women are like flies to shit, you know. When they see a successful man, you will see it all around them. You know. So that's when you know that you've reached. The women are always at you. You know you've reached your peak, and the ones that come in for you, those are the ones that you don't want.
Yeah.
And they're out there in the countryside. I've met a girl. Well, what can I say her name is? I'm gonna try and remember to shout her out so people can go and see her because I'm so proud of her. Her name is Amy. She works in the Coventry Trade Centre, UK. She is 22 and engaged. She's 22 and engaged. I think her fiance is 25, and she thinks it's weird. You know, high body count. Like, what's that? And if you see her, you wouldn't even think that she was engaged. She's got the hair, you know, the extension. She's white. She's got the extension. She's got the makeup. She's got the eyelashes. She just doesn't look the part. But when you talk to her, I looked at her finger, and I saw this bigger. I said, "Excuse me, how old are you? Are you engaged? Wow, I'm going to talk about you all the time." She was like, "Oh." But she was from a single parent, but the difference is single parent father. Single parent father with all brothers. So a single parent father with all brothers, the only girl, no man's going to mess with that. Anybody that comes home has to be serious because they're coming home to her dad.
What do you think is a good age to get married?
What do you think is a good age to get married?
When you know that you have to, and when you're ready to leave home. If you're not ready to leave home, then you should be ready to get married. Because really, you should be leaving home to go and get married. You shouldn't be leaving home before that. So there's no age. If people say there's an age, there's no age in my view. It's when you're ready to leave home. And if a woman gets kicked out of her home, you don't want that woman either. There's a difference between leaving and getting kicked out. So if a man gets kicked out of his home, you got to think to yourself, why? I don't want him. If he's not good enough to live at home, he's not good enough to be with you. Same thing for a woman. If she gets kicked out, there's got to be some weird reason behind it.
Like when
exactly.
you're ready to leave home.
Yeah.
No man should leave home. No man should leave home, and especially to go and live with a woman. It should never happen. I don't agree with that. I don't think that any man should move in with a woman. No real man moves in with a woman. I said that. Get your own place, man. No one can tell you to. No one could kick you out. No one can tell you to leave. Get your own place. If you're gonna move in with a woman, make sure you got your own place. My dad.
Yeah, I mean, him learned
So
that
my
the hard
dad,
way.
he was married to my mum, and he always said you'd only get married once. But unfortunately, his girlfriend, I don't think she really listened to what he was saying. So I think it's like 15, 20 years, could even be longer, that he was with her. And then he just said one day, he said to her, he said, I didn't split up with her. I didn't like no argument. I just said, you know, I think it's best if I go home. Because he retired then and he was always around her feet. And he said, I think it's best that I go home. And the beauty about it is that he still had the same apartment that I grew up in. And he always kept it.
That's cool.
And just think, he was with her.
That's cool.
I don't know, about 15. No, it's got to be longer than that. Could be over 20 years. But he always said he'd only get married once, and that was my mum. So if you're going to move in with a woman, always have backup. If you marry her, rent out your property. And that's what you need to do, but never
And he's just dropping
never
some
move in
knowledge
with
tonight.
a woman. No, because I'm
Even
sick
if
of
you're
it.
in
People
love
say,
with her,
Even if you're in love with her.
a lot of people that are out there giving you, I've realized that a lot of people out there in your manosphere, now I know it's called a manosphere. Is there a womanosphere? But yeah, now I find that stop looking at who's giving you the information. Look at their background. There's a lot of broken-hearted, single parent raised by mother men out there giving you young people advice. Giving them advice. And if you look at their own background, they're worse off than you. They most probably, from a single parent mother, hurt, that's why they've got a lot to say against women. And they're most probably shacked up with a woman. They're not living the life they're telling you they should live. If they're going to do it like me or Kevin Samuels and say, you know, this is what I've done, you know, don't do as I did, but, you know, I'm not going to, because me, I've done it all. So I'm not here saying, oh, yeah, I'm a perfect woman. I'm this, I'm that. I've done it all. So I'm here saying, don't do what I've done. You know, if you're walking down a path and somebody says to you, you've got like 10 miles to go walking along this path. And you see somebody coming the other direction. They say, don't go down there because it's blocked. You can't get down there. It's blocked. I've been down there and it's blocked. Don't waste your time going 10 miles because it's blocked. Are you going to think, oh, I'm not going to listen to them. I want to go and see for myself. And that's how it is. You're going to say, and that's how I do it. I'm saying I've been there, so don't go there. Because I get everybody say, oh, but she's done this and she's done that. Yes, I know. She's not married. Yes, I know. That's what I'm always saying. Say something that I haven't said. She's old. Yes, I know. She's got a man and she's not married. Yes, I know. She was a single parent mother. Yes, I know. But I had one child. I can allow one for a single person. I can allow one. But any more than that for different fathers, it's like, no. One child at a time.
Yeah. Have you?
I said one child
What'd you
at a time when you're single. If you're a single woman, one child at a time. If you're a single man, because the men are out there too, because these women are not getting pregnant on their own. If you see a woman and she's got children, leave, don't bother. Don't bother unless you've got children.
true.
Don't bother because you're just adding to the problem. You're just adding to the problem. And then they're going to talk about all these baby mamas. Because baby mama, I find, is a derogatory term from America. And it's coming out here and they're using it to upset. And to upset these women that have got, like, children. Now, yeah, you can see a woman and she's got, like, 2 different sets of children from 2 different men and neither of them are about. You can say that, you know, women are the gatekeepers, but at the end of the day, she's not having sex on her own. And why are you having sex with a woman that's already got children for another man?
Yeah.
You know, nobody says that. Nobody says that. You know, why has she got? I mean, I got with my guy, and yeah, I had one. I had my child when I met him, and then we split up. And when we got back together again, he had a child. He was a single parent father. But to have a child with him, I mean, it would be near impossible because I have issues. But if I could, I don't think that I wouldn't have had a child unless I got married. Because what am I going to be? Two children.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, oh, she's a baby mother. No, I was a single parent. I was in an abusive relationship. Yes, I left when my son was about 3 months old, rather than let it carry on. But I don't think you can judge someone when they've got one child and they're single. I think that society likes to judge if they've got one child. I think it's admirable if a woman has one child and she sticks with that one child, and she don't want no other children, no men around that one child. Yeah, you can go and do your whoring, but it doesn't affect your child, because whatever you do outside doesn't have anything to do with your home and your child. I want she has lots of good male role models around that child. But yeah, stop sleeping with single parents.
What do you think is like the max kid limit for?
What do you think is like the max kid limit for like a married couple? Or do you think
My
there
brother's
should
dad
be,
had 16.
Oh wow.
He had 14 from one woman, but they were Catholics. They didn't believe in contraception.
Dang.
And there's no maximum. It's what you can afford. He could afford all of them, so it's what you can afford to have. If you can afford to have 10, I wanted 10. If you can afford to have 10, have 10. So there's no maximum. It all depends. And not only that, when you talk about maximum, you've got to think to yourself, what can your body produce?
Do you think like there's a maximum number of times?
Do you think like there's a maximum number of times you should be married?
Yeah, once.
Just one? Oh yeah, do we want? Oh yeah, we.
No, we didn't. We were just talking about my dad, what he said. But people, I think everybody dies. If you're a widow or widower, go for it. I think that if you're divorced, I think you should wait for your children to grow and then get married again, especially if the father's involved.
Yeah, because I feel like it's kind of unfair to them.
Yeah, because I feel like it's kind of unfair to them too if you're like bringing someone else around and expect them just to conform to all of that.
Yeah, and that's why you don't get with people like that. So you need to be picky. If the women are being picky, why can't the men be picky?
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about earlier if we think men should raise their standards among women, and I'm not talking about look-wise. I'm talking about like value-wise, kind of. Like personality also, and just like all this attributes.
I always say that men want somebody like their mum, but if you get on with your mum, I always say that a man who has a good mother wants a woman just like his mum, but sexier. And the men used to think all the women say, like, ugh! And the men, like, when it hits you and you think about it, it's like, that's true, you know. If you've got a good mum, you want a hotter version of your mother. All the things that your mum does that you love, you want that in a woman.
I think it's also the
unconditional love and being able to confide in a woman. That's what like kind of where the mother comes into it, and like
careful about confiding in a woman.
I mean,
careful about that.
Yeah,
I've learned that.
Yeah, because I definitely think women don't have.
Because I definitely think women don't have unconditional love unless it's for their child, and like men grow up with that unconditional love.
They have a dog.
And I don't know.
If they have a dog. If a man has a dog, you know, if a man has a dog growing up, and when he gets old, he's still got that dog, you know that man's got unconditional love. Think about it. You got a dog that you grew up with, that you look after yourself, that is a sign of a good man. If he can look after a dog himself, and you see a man, the way you watch him, how a man is with his mother and his family and his pets, So unconditional love. Nah. Only to dumb animals. So you got a dumb woman, then yeah. You got a dumb man, then yeah. But unconditional love, nah, you're not God. I think only God's capable of it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I wouldn't
good
even
point.
say that I'm capable of like unconditional love, because I know there's going to be some days when I'm going to look at you and say, today I really don't like you.
Yeah.
And I would say that.
You know how long we've been live for? Do you know how long we've been live for?
No.
I don't know where to
Neither.
go.
I know somehow it comes up. What if you think about the time that we went?
I think we started at like.
Yeah,
50 minutes.
we got a while. Or somehow it comes up with a warning. If it comes up with a warning, then you just say, okay, then bye.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. Let me plug in
Or
my phone real
somebody
quick.
says, oh, you can get a cat as well. But cats, you see, the reason why I didn't mention cats, I mentioned dog, because cats can look after themselves. You know, cats don't take as much looking after. So if a man's got a cat, all right, then if it stays in the house a lot, that's different. But you tend to find that unless you've got one of those, I call them the tiger cats, you know, where you have to take them for a walk. Oh, he's got a black pussy. She looks fat. Fat cat. Black fat cat on the mat. Always lands on her feet. Look at her. Is it her or him?
It's a her.
Yeah. She looks territorial.
Yeah,
She's looking at.
She likes the spotlight.
She's quite docile. Like she's used to rough play. How long you had her?
Like 2 years.
She's like, yeah, I'm used to lads. Shut me about. I'll land on my feet. She's like, I'll land on my feet anyway.
Yeah, that's
I
how
don't
she
care
is.
what you do. So what are you looking for in a woman? Young man.
And women, I just look for. Men have to be prepared for like to have a woman love them, right?
Yeah.
Like not searching for love. But I definitely do want like a lady that wants to care about me and like
You're getting a bit of feedback. On like something Bluetooth or something on. I'm getting a bit of feedback.
Yeah, I think that might be his.
How's it now?
Say that again. Say something. You say something then. Somebody say something.
Yeah, I think it's coming off of his phone.
Yeah, that's it. You're okay now. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I took my AirPods out.
Yeah, sorry, I took my AirPods out.
Yeah, I learned that from Blessing, you see, because it's a regular thing we have on the show. So I know what to say because I learned from Blessing. Do this, do that, there's feedback. But yeah, so that's what I say. Stop looking for women. Work on yourself. Because how old are you to? Do you mind me asking?
22.
Same.
22.
Oh, bloody hell. Don't even look for a woman.
Did you
Oh,
think you're
come
older?
on. You're too young. You're supposed to be out there building yourself and enjoying life and smashing beer cans with your forehead. No, I'm just saying that because that's what you look like. You know? But no, you're supposed to be out there thinking about a career. Not a job, a career. A career that you know that you can save with, that you can work on, that's going to grow, and a side hustle.
Yeah.
If you're going to make it, if you're going to have a side hustle, you've got to be serious about it.
Yeah, we tried
So
starting this podcast.
Yeah, we tried starting this podcast because we knew we needed.
When you're
other
about
things.
30, then start thinking about woman.
That's a long time.
So you've got about 8 years to start working on yourself.
Yeah, I just told myself I wasn't going to get married till like.
Yeah, I was told myself I wasn't going to get married till like 30, 35.
Yeah, so what are you going to do until that time?
Work on the podcast.
Work on the podcast. Invest in crypto.
Have you got a career? Have you got a job?
So I try to get my money up. I'm a manager at a grocery store.
How's that working for you?
It's a job.
Man, it's a
You
job.
see, that shouldn't be just a job, otherwise you're wasting your time. What have you learned from that job? Have you learned where they get their, have you learned where their contacts? Have you been networking within that job, or are you just the manager representing this company? Have you been looking to see like how they do things, where they get their stocks from? All these are,
I haven't done that.
all these
That's
are
a good idea.
important things that when you're in your job, find out what makes it tick. You know, you're saying you're a manager for a grocery, but there might be somewhere making that work for you. You can go and get, you know, find out who their stockists are, find out where they get their stuff from. You can have a van, you can go out delivering vegetables to places that can't get them or something like that. Cutting out the middleman, that could be your side hustle. But don't be in a job that you don't learn anything from. You should always have a job that you can take stuff away from. Not, I mean, don't mean stealing, I mean ideas. And say, so don't say it's just a job. If it's just a job and that's all it is to you, you're wasting your time. That means you're just staying, not growing. If you enjoy the job, what's above the manager? Why are you just happy being a manager?
No,
Why aren't you working to be an aerial manager?
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense.
And you, young man, you know,
Do you have a job, or do you just
I'm
do the
retired.
podcast?
Oh, you're retired. That's cool. What do you retire from?
Oh, you're retired. That's cool. What do you retire
Well, I
from?
did not retire from. The last job I had that I retired from, I used to drive disabled children. That was a part-time job. I used to drive disabled children because I had my son at 17. I started my pension, I think, 18, 19. Because my mum, even though my mum and dad were married, they got divorced when I was 12. And the people that I hung around with, that was like mostly older, as I got older, they were like, they had like 30, 40 years on me. So, and I remember one of the things that my mum always had, she always said, she always had a pension. Now, when I was getting my pension, I was telling everybody else getting their pension, they didn't want to. They were too busy drinking, too busy going out clubbing. And I do not like buying drinks in a bar. I just think it's a waste of money. I think that you can drink at home. I know that traditionally, people
Yeah, me
go
and
out,
that
but
think
then
the
you
same.
drink before you go out, and then people still go out and drink. And I thought, what's the point? So, and I saved. I was very frugal growing up. Always had a pension, and then I bought my flats or apartment, as you sort of say. So a single parent all the time. Like I was a bus driver because my dad was a bus driver. So I thought, I like driving. I want to be a bus driver. Unlike you, then I thought, I'd done it for less than a year. I thought, I don't want to do this anymore. I've done it. Then I became a supervisor. And then I thought, I've done that now. I want to leave. And a year later, I became an assistant manager. But then I don't really follow the rules too much, so I got made redundant. Because they know that I can't, if it don't feel good, and I don't lie, so I'm not going to lie for whether you're my boss or not. So if somebody phones and they say, and I said, so-and-so's on the phone, and you said, tell them that I'm not here. And I will say, Mr. So-and-so said he's not here. I'm not lying for you. Which don't go down well. So then, then I decided to, I bought my apartment, had a mortgage, and I decided to sell up and move out of London. So I moved out of an apartment into a house. A very old Victorian house, which I am in the process of restoring. But that's what I did. And if I had, if I'd done it all again, I think I would have bought my house cash at 25. I wasted a lot of money in my youth. And I could have bought.
Do you think it's smart at our age to
Oh,
buy
yes.
a house?
Even in like the current housing market, you think?
Even in like the
If
current
you
housing
can,
market?
listen, if you're at home, you should be able to save up your money. And there's no reason why that if you're saving up and you're careful, by the time you're 30, you can buy your house cash.
Not even you think like pay half of it and go like.
Not even you think like pay half of it and
You
go
could
like,
do,
oh,
but
yeah,
I reckon
well.
that you can do it cash.
Yeah.
Because I've given myself a challenge. I'm not buying no clothes for a year. None for a year. And that's what I set myself a challenge.
Is there any other things you're doing to like save money?
Oh yeah, I've got solar panels put in. I grow my own vegetables. I don't like eating out. If I do eat out, it's a drive-through and McDonald's, and I get a children's meal because I always keep the toy for when I go on holiday and give it to the children that go out. And I tend to always have food in my car to eat because I'm that frugal. I don't want to eat out. I don't buy anything unless it's on offer. It's got to be half price. Buy one get one free, 100% extra. Even my clothes, I go to outlets and get my clothes. You know, I go online because every brand that you would ever buy, they always have a store online. They always have a sale online. They always have a clearance department online, and they always have an outlet.
That's true.
So,
I've learned just
I've learned just even shopping at like Nike outlet, you can save like 30.
no, I want to say 50 at least. If I don't buy anything, if I need it, then I will buy it. But I'm still looking to try and get some money off. But if I want it, it has to be half price. I don't want 30%. I don't want 40%. I want 50% and over.
Dang.
And I do it. If you look at my TikTok, I do it. You see my shopping, I do it. I haven't posted anything on there for a while. I think last time, did I post on there? I went yesterday to a farm in Warwick. Big up Meat Matters. I think I saw that on the farm. I can't remember the name of the farm. But I went there to buy a deer.
A deer?
Because, yeah.
Damn. What kind of deer do they got over there?
Was it, what they call it, a munty? Muttjack?
Muley?
Muttjack, it's the little one. But we just have deer running around wild in England.
You do?
We have deer running the wild. So the way things are going now, I mean, here they say that you can't get vegetables, this, that you can. It's just that people don't want to buy boring English vegetables like cabbages and carrots and stuff. They want avocados and plum tomatoes. Well, sod that. I'm going to eat what grows. I'm eating seasonally, you know. And I've got a whole heap of vegetable seeds. Yeah, these are all vegetable seeds, all different vegetable seeds. Parsnips, carrots, you name it, I've got them. Because I done it last year, but this year I'm going on a vengeance where I'm going to grow my own, really concentrate on growing my own veg. I do it every year, but I think I need to step it up.
Yeah, me and my grandpa.
Yeah, me and my grandpa and my dad used to take care of the garden all the time, and we're going to start it back up this year. We grow like tomatoes, raspberries, zucchini, corn, strawberries.
But you should have done that every year. Oh, the deer was wild. The deer was wild. They don't have farm red there. The deer was wild. Comes with a shot. The guinea fowl, everything that I bought was wild. Somebody's just asking me, was it farm raised? No, they're out there because they're wild. So sometimes they need culling. And I think the meat is like more tender. It's more natural. You know, it's eaten. It's been out there. It hasn't been troubled. And they tell you to watch out when you're eating in case there's any shot in it. So you know it's proper.
Here in America, you can't even sell.
Here in America, you can't even sell wild deer. You have to. It has to be farm raised if it's sold publicly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not hearing you go out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to get out of rabbits, anything really, because it's got to be better than having stuff that's been raised and got chemicals in it, and you know. So yeah, that's where I'm going. That's my way to go. I'm getting a new freezer. I'm supposed to be getting another whole deer next week, but that one I want to skin myself. I want to try skinning it myself.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend
when you're
don't keep cutting when you're skinning it. Like pull and keep cutting, pull, keep cutting. Like you got to really keep pull the skin off.
Is it true that Andrew Tate drank cobra blood?
Nah, don't believe that.
I've seen a video of him saying that he did.
I think you should Google and see if there's a drink out there called Cobra Blood.
Do you think that's what he did?
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I really
I
trust
think you need to. No, Nim, I'll say before you believe it, Google and see if there's a drink called Cobra Blood, because he must probably say some of the wildest stuff and people are not doing their homework. Or see if it's some kind of cultural thing, because sometimes you see these people and they go over to places like in the far jungle somewhere, you know, in the deep outback, and that's a tradition. And so when people say, yeah, they've done this, you know, sometimes you have to do those things as part of a ritual for them to welcome you. So I think that, and that's what I say, people need to look into what context he's saying it.
He also said he got bit by a cobra.
He must probably got, somebody can say he got bit by a cobra. But I reckon that somewhere, in some community, somewhere, that there is somewhere where they drink cobra blood. And for some reason, my mind's taking me to India because I know they do a lot of charming over there.
Right. I would
So
never do
yeah.
that.
But the thing is that if it's part of, if you go into somebody's environment, it's like you come to England, they say, would you like a cup of tea? Would you like a cup of coffee? You know, America, they might say, would you like a drink? Some places they might say, right, they're going to have this ceremony to welcome you. We're going to drink ox blood. We're going to drink cobra blood. You know, that is part of their society. That is part, and it would be rude to say no.
Right.
That might be a special ritual for them.
Good point.
So, yeah, take it. I'd take what he says in a pinch of salt. So, what are you not going to do now with regards to looking for a woman then?
I don't know. I'm going to take a lot of your advice. You said a lot of good things tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. So stop looking. And look for the people. And you know what you need to look for? Somebody had to go at me for saying this, but I don't really care. Look for a girl that's at home. Either, I'll tell you the best girl to look for, in my view, either a girl that's living at home with both parents, but I find that nowadays both parents could be shit anyway. I find that look for a girl that comes from a single home, but the parent at home is her father. I think those are the best women today. The women of single parent fathers, because it's very rare that you find them. You know, if the man's a proper man, woman ain't gonna have nobody count, gonna be low. Then it comes to the house because no one's gonna come part, especially if she's got brothers. Now, I don't recommend dating apps. I don't recommend. Somebody's asking, do I recommend dating apps? No, I don't. I need to see the person face to face. I think you might meet someone and you might gel on dating apps, but I think that, you know, there's a lot more to language than just speaking, because people communicate with body language, whether they realize they're doing it or not. You always pick up on body language. So I think this to go on a dating app, nah.
I agree.
No.
Yeah, dating apps are pretty trash here in America.
I think they must be like that everywhere. I've never actually seen what goes on in one. I've never actually seen a dating app. I've heard about them. But no. You just need to go out there and meet people. And stop going to places where you wouldn't want your woman to go. Stop going to places where you wouldn't want your man to go. You know, I mean, they're going to nightclubs, they're trying to find a woman. Would you want your woman in a nightclub? No. So why are you looking for her there? You're never going to find her there.
It's a good point.
So wherever you want your man to be, you know, I'd go and look at. I met some of the most interesting men in electrical shops and in the DIY section in big stores. You know, that's when you find, you know, hard-working young men. You know, electrical shops, paint shops, things like that. And you don't want a man that's every day. You walk down the road. I don't want to see a man that looks good all the time. I want to see a man that's got a uniform on, that's got paint on him, that's got sawdust in his hair, that's got, you know, car grease all over him. Unless he's in a suited and booted all the time and he's not going to court, right? Then it's all right. You want a man that looks, you know, women. I saw someone said, oh no, you know, my man has, when he comes in from work, if I'm sleeping, he has to go and have a bath first. And I'm thinking, why? Because he smells. You know what he smells of? Bloody hard work. Appreciate the smell. You know, that's what it is.
I think.
What do you
No, you
think
go
is
ahead.
like?
What do you think is like a good opening line to talk to
What do you
a
think
girl?
is like a good opening line to talk to a girl for the first time?
Good morning, good evening, or good night.
That's it, just like,
Also, you know what you need
That's
to
it,
do?
just like
You need to approach her like you're approaching.
open-ended.
If somebody was approaching your mom,
I never thought of it.
you know,
I never thought of it like
yeah.
that.
I want to say hi. Well, I'll give you a story about my son. He always grew up with multicultural. Always had friends, Indian, black, white, you name it. All the nationalities used to come into my house. And to get to my son's room, you used to have to walk past the living room. It was like a corridor. My door was always open because I want to see who's coming in. And he said, evening, Mum. I said, yeah, right, son. He goes, I'm here with my friends. I said, fine. As they walked through the black, good evening, Auntie. Good evening, Auntie. How are you doing, Auntie? Right. All the Indians, and there was a load of them because I used to go and do music. And I remember this Michael, the only white boy. He looked like Joe 90. He had glasses on and he had the full works. And he walked past us and he said, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm all right. Now F off at my house." And everybody's like, I said, "You mix with all the blacks, the Indians, and you haven't known anything." I said, "Go on, F off at my house." And all the boys were like, "No, how can you say that to Auntie? How can you just walk in and say I'm all right? Are you all right? You don't say that, you know." And he had to go at him. I didn't let him in that day. But when he came back, he didn't know what to say. He was like, "Good morning, evening, Auntie, you know, Mum." He called me everything. All came out in one sentence. I said, "Okay, Michael," and that was it. So I think it's how you approach people. I mean, some women like that. "Oh yeah, what happened, baby?" No. And a lot of women don't like being talked to nice. But don't let that stop you. There's women out there for you. Women don't. I realize that.
Yeah, me
No,
more.
women don't like women. Well, if you go out and you say, "Oh, good morning, how you doing? Pleased to meet you. What's your name?" Women be like, "Oh, he's an idiot. He's a nerd. Something's not right with him."
Yeah.
Those are the women you don't want. Women that don't know how to be approached by a gentleman, you don't want them. If a woman is getting insulted by saying, "Excuse me, oh, good afternoon. I've noticed you, blah, 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 blah. I just want to say that you look nice," or whatever. If a woman's got a problem with that, she's got issues.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Some women like expect this big facade when you talk to them for the first time, or like, I don't know, just like getting put on a pedestal. Also, it still goes back to what you're saying. Like some women just like aren't approachable. Or, like,
Just keep it real and don't lie to her. Don't even tell her how beautiful she is, unless she hasn't got any makeup on and it's so real here. And even then, don't tell her she's beautiful. Tell her she's cute. If you say a woman she's beautiful, it's going to go to her head. Tell her she's cute. They want to know, are you two related?
No, we actually known each other since kindergarten.
no, we actually known each other since kindergarten.
Yeah. And that's what you need to do when you're on live. It's your podcast, just to let you know, your first live. You need to look at the chat. Sometimes people are putting messages there for you, because I know you're both sitting far away from the screen. But when you scan through it, there's somebody being discussing about wood, about going to a DIY shop to get wood, you know, but that's the way people are. But I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, so you just need to be real and go with it. What do you mean, your response? So your response has made you unqualified to apply. Yeah, that's what you tell her. Or somebody said, you just tell them, "Oh, there's something about you that I like." You know, so I just thought, that's Mr. Smooth. So, "Excuse me, there's something, I just noticed you. There's something about you that I like," you know? And I just thought I'd come and, I go up to men and women and say, "Excuse me, but I just thought I have to tell you, you're beautiful." That's it. And I
I
would
don't think that would work.
tell women and men that I would just say, "Do you know what? I think you're really handsome," and I'll just turn and go. I don't want no response. I don't care what you think, because I'm not looking. Now I realise that Afro Alicia's mama I realized that. I just realized what you meant. Yeah. And that's what you tell them. Your response has made you unqualified to apply. See yourself as like, see your body as like one of the top companies. Would you let anybody come and work in it? Would you let anybody apply for the job to work in your company? Your body is your company. Think about it. Your body is your company. Anybody that wants to get into your company has to have a bloody good CV, resume, whatever you want to call it. And the thing is that you're young. Yeah, everybody's going to tell you, do you know what you want to do? You know what? They always say, oh, men got these urges. Put all your urges into the gym. All that sexual frustration. Years ago, we used to tell the men, be a virgin. You get an urge, go and lift the car. Because they say that men, when they get this, they can go and lift the car. We used to tell men, go and lift the car. Grab it by the bonnet and lift it. You know, what I'd say now is to put all that energy that you got, all that sexual frustration into going to the gym, into just building yourself, working hard. I mean, the young man that's sitting down there, you were saying about your granddad and your dad, you know, growing the seeds and stuff. You're going to wait for your granddad and your dad to do it?
Yeah. I've done it all as a kid.
I've done it all as a kid. I know how to work a garden. Like rototillering it, weeding it, when fruits are ripe.
Preparing it. What's your garden look like now?
It's
exactly.
Weeds. We haven't done it in like
exactly.
2 years. But we're starting.
But you and your young, you don't start in the summer. You start now. You can't start growing vegetables in the summer. You start preparing the land now. And while you're not out there having barbecues or anything, have a garden party, but with a difference. Bring your shovels and your picks. Yeah. Bring your shovels and your picks. Let your friends come and have a proper garden party. And you can start sowing from early. You can start preparing the ground, putting the compost in there, digging it in and then leaving it. And that's what you should be doing now. Because for your job, you could be growing your own vegetables. And everybody nowadays wants fresh vegetables. And people might say it's a silly side hustle, but it ain't. It all depends on what you're growing and how fresh it is. But that's a good side hustle to have. As soon as, like now, the way society's going now, regarding food and all the chemicals and that. And especially where you live, there must be a lot of horse shit around.
A lot of what?
Horse manure.
Oh, yeah. We had horses ourselves. So
we had horses ourselves, so we just have a big pile.
You need slapping.
What?
You need slapping.
What?
Why do we?
As I said, you're wasting all that good shit. Literally. Literally.
Yeah.
You could have been digging the garden now, getting rid of all those weeds and all the, and like really making sure the dirt's really good, no stones in it, getting your mates out there, and then getting all that manure and putting all over it.
Both of them.
Yeah, there's a 777 at the end. A-class 777. Yeah. They said they plan to clear their mortgage by June. How old are you? 777. Yeah. So that's what you need to do. Concentrate on yourself.
You definitely given me a lot to think about tonight, along with building myself, not looking for a woman until I'm like older and like have myself built up. You know, these are all things I didn't think about prior to.
And I want to see. I want you to send me pictures of your garden before, during, and after. That's a challenge. Yeah.
I'll send you pictures.
Because I think that within a week you should have that dug over.
Me and my dad will get on.
Why wait for your dad? You got a friend there that's doing nothing.
Yeah. The only problem with that is he lives like.
The only problem with that is he lives like 40 miles away from me.
Okay, but you don't need your dad to do it. You don't need your dad to do it. You need your dad to help you, but you don't need your dad to do it. You know you don't. Even if you've got a spare hour and every day you go out there. My garden's a mess right now. And I'm disabled. And I went out there, I've been out there every day and done something. I've done potatoes. I've planted potatoes. I've garlic I put out there, spring onions, potatoes. And that's just this week that I done.
Nice. You should send me some pictures of yours too.
Nice. You should send me some pictures of yours
Yeah,
too.
the before and after. My garden's actually on TikTok from last year. My last year garden and all my
Oh, that's cool.
all my vegetables and everything that I was growing is out there now, but I've had some work done to the house, so the men have forgotten to take their bits of tiles out my garden, the bits of wood out my garden. You know, they've left all bits and pieces. So I'm just taking my time. But I'm getting prepared now. I'm getting the soil prepared now. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to start growing the seeds, start doing the seeds in the house in preparation for when they go out. So that's what I mean. You wait till summer. You should be putting the little seeds that you've grown in the house out in the summer. You can't wait straight till the summer and start, oh, I'm going to start growing stuff. You got to get prepared. I was out there with Epsom salts and all kinds of stuff that I noticed and dug it all into the dirt to get ready for when the summer comes. And garlic takes forever. That's why I planted the garlic now, cover it over, and it would take about a good 6 months or so to get some really big garlic.
So I remember you talking about you getting a deer.
So I remember you talking about you getting a deer. Have you ever gone hunting?
No, because nobody thinks that I've got the right temperament to put a gun in my hand. But I'd love to go.
Yeah, I think hunting's pretty fun.
Yeah,
You know, growing up.
I think hunting's pretty fun. You know, growing up in Montana, I killed elk and deer, you know, a bunch of birds and stuff like that. But I think hunting's a really good trait for people to have.
If you can get it, I mean, where I live, someone's growing Scotch bonnets. That's what I'm trying to get Pearl to do. I've got Pearl loves chilies, and I've got her some little chili plants to grow. See if she can grow them or kill them. We're working on it. You see, everybody's telling you what they grow. Spring onions are really easy to grow. When you get a spring onion, you cut the bottom off and you just stick it back in the dirt and it grows again. So spring onion is something that you should only really buy once because it keeps on growing, it keeps on regenerating. You don't even have to dig it up. You just cut it and it just springs back up again. Add strawberries. No,
So you said you're from
I
London,
was from
right?
London. I'm now in Coventry.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
Oh, that's
about
cool.
2.5 hours drive away. But I grew vegetables when I lived in an apartment. I grew vegetables on my windowsill. You know, you've got potato bags now that you can grow potatoes in the corner. If you can have a plant in your house, you can grow vegetables in your house. Strawberries in hanging baskets are great. Plum tomatoes in hanging baskets are great.
Yeah, I'm terrible for out picking
Yeah,
strawberries.
I'm terrible for out picking strawberries though, because I always pick one.
Well, I had a workman come here and his little girl, because I've got a bathtub outside, and I just fill it, and that's what I grow the strawberries in. And by the time the little, she was about 3 or 4, and she was so excited that she could pick around, so she picked all of them and ate all of them. The dad said, "I'm so sorry." I said, "It's okay, it's fine." Oh, A-class 777 lives in the Midlands. Yeah, big up the Midlands. Yeah, all these people are saying they live near where I live. So yeah, so today I'm going to Essex, which is just outside of London, and I'm going into London, just go and visit and then doing my podcast, then coming home. But yeah, but get that garden done. You're wasting money. You're wasting money by not doing it. How far away is the nearest shop from you?
We don't really have like vegetable shops.
We don't really have like vegetable shops. We just have like grocery stores.
You don't have any vegetable stores?
No, just grocery stores.
No, just grocery stores.
See, so that is perfect. Big up University in Coventry, one of the best around. So what you need to do, that's something that you can tap into as a side hustle.
That is something I can do.
That is something I could do.
Concentrate on growing your own veg. Because I'm going to grow them. I'm trying to get a canning machine from America. Or is it a canning pressure cooker or pressure canner? Something like that. You put it in with the cans, you put it on, and it cooks them and seals the cans for you, the jars for you. Somehow I can only
I've heard of those.
see them being sold in America. But yeah, that's what I plan to get, so that when I do grow my own vegetables and stuff, that, you know, rather than give them away like I normally do, I can keep them preserved. I know about drying them. I put them in oil. I've got garlic from last year that I preserved in olive oil. But I just want to make my own. I make my own jam anyway. You know, I think it's Auntie Jenny UK, but AUNTIE Jenny UK on TikTok, and you will see what I do over there. I always try to practice what I preach.
Oh, for sure.
Well, it's about 1 a.m.
Well,
here,
it's
so
about
I think
1
it's about
a.m.
time for us to
here,
go to
so
bed.
I think it's about time for us to go to bed.
Well done.
Yeah. Hey, Logan, you want to come say
But
hi?
yeah, hey Logan, you want to come say bye?
He's tired already. So
Yeah, well, here, he went to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, well, he went to the bathroom real quick.
because
but-
it's nearly 8 o'clock here in the morning.
Yeah, it was great talking to you. Thank you for all the words of wisdom.
That was great talking to you. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me on. Look forward to seeing what kind of vegetables you lot are growing. You see, because that way you don't need to go to the gym. Dig the garden and forget about the gym. You save money there.
I'll be working on that garden.
And let me give you one bit of advice before we go. Any seed that you have in your kitchen, any seed that you eat, save it and plant it. What have you got to lose? It's free food.
That's bad.
So anything that you got that's got a root or that's got a seed and you're throwing away the seeds, I've got a plastic container next to my sink. And anytime I'm doing vegetables, all the sweet peppers or bell peppers as you call them, every seed I put in there, even oranges and apples. What can go wrong? If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, you haven't lost anything. 9 times out of 10, it will grow once it's been left alone. Just chuck it inside. And you've got horse manure, which is perfect. So anyway, I'm going to let you young boys go to sleep.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming
All right,
on.
thank you so much, and thanks for coming on.
Really great
It was a pleasure. You know, really great meeting you. Loved all the things you always say.
Thanks for your support. And don't forget, when you end it, it says like save the video. It does something. Before you press any buttons, look carefully so you can save it and then clip it and do whatever young people do with it.
Okay, thank you for the advice.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for
All
the
right, then.
advice.
All right.
So good night.
Night.
Bye.
All right. Night.
Thank you. Bye.